And we've reached the part of the podcast where we're talking a little NASCAR. And Brandon, who gave out Tyler Reddick at 14-1, is back this week. Hell of a hit, my friend. Hell of a hit.
Hoping to go back to back for the first time this year, unlike last year when we were striking them every 4 or 5 weeks in a row. So yeah, nice hit on Sunday. I'll take it. It was a shit show of a race. A lot of big issues between Goodyear and NASCAR. They need to start figuring out.
All right, so elaborate on that statement. What are some of the issues going on between those?
There's been tire issues all year with Goodyear. I think it was 4 different times the leader of the race, Chase, Harvick, Truex, all these guys just leading the race, walking away, doing fine, blown tire. Goodyear's coming out saying that the crew chiefs are overstepping the boundary of tire pressure to become faster. I don't think if they knew overstepping a boundary would cause anything like this, they'd be doing it right now. So funny, we talked about it earlier this year that I could see them going back to the 16-inch tire rather than the 18 next year. But the fact that these guys leading the race are just randomly blowing tires is sad. And it might be the clean air, lower downforce, no dirty air with a car in front of them. I don't know, but it's not good.
Now, another big thing that happened was Byron took out Hamlin. Tell us your thoughts on that, and then the repercussion of Byron being docked playoff points.
So Byron dumped Hamlin under yellow, unacceptable at any point, no matter how mad you are. Hamlin did push him up into the wall a few laps before that. The fact that NASCAR during the race sent Hamlin to the back after he spun and didn't penalize Byron, they got to have a better review program at that. But he went from being up in the playoffs right now above the cutoff line to now 8 points below the cutoff line, which helps drivers like Suarez and Chase, who are only 4 points above, now 11. So we're at Talladega, 2.5-mile track. The big one happens every year, and you just got to hope if you're going to try and survive, you stay out of it, get those stage points early, and either stay up front or ride in the back until the end, and that's about all you can do right now.
You mentioned the big one being Talladega. Now, I do want to ask you this. We saw a couple people on Twitter get some cred because what they did was, since it is a super speedway, they just took all the long shots and just did a round robin parlay with them.
Yeah.
Do you think that has any cred this time around?
Doing like the long shots?
Yeah, but it's like for 10-1. So what I'm saying is like, I'll pull the odds up right here. I'll see if PointsBet will allow you to do this or not. So basically what the people did was 10-1. So it was like, okay, we're going to take Cody Ware, start a parlay, Todd Gillen, T, boom, boom, and then one more will go Haley. So basically what they did was they just round robin all these shots. And because of that wreck, I think it ended up hitting.
I didn't know you could round. I'm not going to lie on the feed right now, but I didn't know you could actually do a round robin.
Well, this is on a different book. This is, obviously PointsBet wants to limit their,
which is smart. Good call, PointsBet.
which obviously, because you don't want to be like, because of a lotto ticket, get busted. So we're using these odds on PointsBet again. Brandon's going to lead us off. Brandon hit 14-1. Tyler Reddick last week. So guys, make sure you guys are locking in these bets. Brandon, who's the first guy you're looking at?
We're both going to side on this one. Ryan Blaney, great at super speedways, due for a win. Can't go wrong with him. Ryan Blaney, 13-1. That's all I'm going to say. He's due for it.
Yep. 2 wins, last 7 races. He has the most laps led at Talladega. 13-1, great price. I absolutely love this too. He's my only to win bet though. What other win bets are you looking to lock in?
So my win bet, homer pick, but I'm going up to 12-1. Chase Elliott, Hendrick car. We talk about it every time at a super speedway. Pick a Hendrick car, whichever one you want. They're all going to be competitive. Chase is not happy right now. 11 points above the cutoff. I see him qualifying well, staying up front to get stage points and avoiding the big one.
Now, let me ask you this. We're seeing a unfamiliar 14-1 in front of Larson. What say you about that?
It's just basically because it's a crapshoot at Dega. I mean, they can't low odd these guys. If you low odd a Larson at a 6-1, nobody's going to touch him because there's no return on investment at this point when it comes to the Dega race.
Two guys I was looking at, Denny Hamlin 13-1, but I feel like since I'm playing Blaney at 13-1, I can't do that. I did want to ask you about your mom's favorite driver, Christopher Bell. He's sitting down here at 20-1. What do you think about for this weekend?
I like that. I like him a lot, especially grabbing a playoff guy at those type odds. You can't go wrong with it. He's been competitive consistently. If you scroll down a little further, keep going. I like to jump around here. You get Austin Dillon, who also runs well at super speedways.
That's another guy I was going to ask you about, Austin Dillon.
25-1. I like that. Wreck-It Ricky's in the mix at 35-1. Now, you guys got to understand when you're making these bets this week, you're lumping a chunk of bets together for a minimal risk per bet to come out in the positive. You can only do this at Talladega, and you can only do this at Daytona, so you might as well get it while you can. But if you scroll down even further, there's a little cluster of guys that I like. Stop. Noah Gragson, who just won his 4th in a row Xfinity race, who is also running Saturday, sitting at 100-1, who finished in the top 5 at Daytona recently. Todd Gilliland, who has been in the lead for a few of these races at 125, and Harrison Burton, who is a consistent Cup driver, also at 125. So that little cluster of guys are going to be my 3 long shots. You hit any of them, you're looking at $500 to $1,000 grab off of $5 to $10 worth of.
What about Almirillo up here at 29-1?
I mean, not a bad pick. He's done well, but me and you have talked about him for almost 3 years now, Eric, on how we think he'll finally get one and this and that, and he falls short and something happens and he breaks his back, and it's just doesn't work well for him.
Now, my last one I was going to ask you about, what about Eric Jones at 29-1?
Been running really consistent as well, so he's good too. The only thing you got to remember, I mean, you've talked about it, we laugh at our friends that will throw $20 to $50 out in bets on 15 different drivers, and then a driver will win for $20 when they bet 40, and they still think they got a winner when they actually lost $20. So just be strategic at your max bet that you're doing on each driver to make sure your ROI comes out on top after.
It's kind of funny you're looking at these. More like historically, these top 10s are like minus like 150, minus 200, minus 500. Just for a top 10s, Talladega, like we talked about, total crapshoot. A couple top 10s I'm looking at. Obviously, I got to like Eric Jones historically has won well at this track. But at that plus 130 mark, I think that's a little too low for me to get invested in him. Justin Haley, I think the kid was winning the last super speedway race, and then all the shenanigans broke out.
Yeah,
there 2-1. I think that's definitely worth an investment. And then my boy Corey LaJoie down here plus 350. We need to remember LaJoie was winning. Was it Daytona at the beginning of the at the playoffs, and then he wrecked out. He's historically done well here, so I like LaJoie plus 350. Top 10, Justin Haley plus 200, top 10, and Ryan Blaney plus 1,300 to win the race. Brandon, what were your bets again?
We grabbed Blaney at 13, Chase at 12, and I do like Austin Dillon in the 20s. And then that group of 3, Noah, Todd Gilliland, and Harrison Burton, 100, 125, 125 to 1.
Now, I do need to ask you this, my friend.
Oh, here it comes.
We're done with the NASCAR. What is going on with your boys?
With Mac Jones?
I mean, we have a couple things we need to talk
I've just got one thing to say, day to day. I'm just going to take it day by day.
Day by day.
I'm not a doctor. I don't know the answer. I don't read the MRIs. So.
Now, my thing is this. Do you think – I will say this. I was looking at it, and – you know, I'm doing my notes for my shows and everything. The one thing is this: Green Bay is bad against the run.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe
Damian Harris all day Sunday. Pound Damian Harris.
Could pound the rock, but you know, I don't know. I don't know. I'm a little worried. I was using my Packers and Survivor.
So I will say this: you're lucky to have me on this feed today, because after my weekend, sitting in here Saturday watching Miami lose to Middle Tennessee University, waking up Sunday watching the Pats keep it real close to Baltimore, like playing good, 21-20. Mac Jones high ankle sprain, and Sunday afternoon Chase Elliott leading the race and blowing a tire. We can just say that this weekend was not a good weekend in sports in my household.
Okay. All right. Now, I do have another question for you. We haven't talked in a little bit. Obviously,
don't bring the Celtics affair in right now. You're gonna add that to the list.
But no, like legitimately, like you're a Celtics fan.
Yes.
I have not had a Celtics fan on to talk about as a fan, how are they digesting this whole situation?
It sucks. You have a team that went to the NBA Finals, a coach that seemed to have the team well wrapped together after replacing Brad Stevens. It seemed like everything was in a better direction, still missing some key components to win a championship. But at this point, after reading everything, seeing that he was messing around with the travel scheduler and she was making sure that his long-term, I don't think they were married.
No, they like have a kid together and they've been engaged for years.
The fact that she was scheduling her to be on a different flight than him, so he'd be there a couple days early. So they they're saying they're putting him on suspension this season. Get him gone, because if you bring him back next year, I'm sorry, but that puts a bad taste in my mouth as a fan of what my front office.
I mean, you guys, I don't mean to turn the knife, man, but you got this happening. You signed Gallinari, which was a hell of a pickup. He hurt his knee. So, and then you got Robert Williams, who is, I think, a beast. And he's got his knee stuff going on. So
I feel like, I don't know why, but I feel like you're rubbing it in a little.
I'm not rubbing it in.
I don't feel like it's just like a casual conversation. I feel like it's a little bit of like a, hey, how was your weekend? So
I'll tell you what. I like two NBA teams. I like the Pistons. I like the Bucks. I've experienced a championship with both. Okay.
Yep.
And I know it's hard to get to that level, and I know it sucks when you're so close you don't get to that level.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying. Brandon, thanks for coming on. Thanks for talking a little NBA, and of course, thanks for the NASCAR picks. Why don't you tell everybody what your iRacing schedule is and where they can find you on social media?
Possibly this Friday night at 9 or 10 o'clock. Check out the Twitter feed. It'll be on there. Twitch, Instagram, BostonBoy83. Give it a follow.
Guys and girls, make sure you give Brandon a follow. Let's cash some tickets. Let's make some money. Until next week, my friend.
Talladega, my man.